Welcome back, friends, to another episode of In the Kitchen with Will. Today, on this episode, we're going to be making cookie pie. Alright, so you're going to want to start out with 2 cups of flour. Pour that in a big bowl. And then I got a teaspoon of salt here. Just pour that in. You're going to want to mix that in until it's nice and blended. Alright, now that that's all mixed up, we're going to take 3/4 of a cup of Crisco shortening. We're going to unwrap this. And we're just going to chunk it in there. Now that we have that in there, you're going to want to cut it up. I like using one of these nice pie making utensils, but you can also use a fork. It works the same, just a little bit easier with this. You get a little bit more leverage and more working area. So just going to chop that up in there. Keep scraping it off. Get it nice and diced in there. These chunks of Crisco are going to leave it nice and flaky crust for your pie. So you want to really get it mixed in there.
Scrape the sides down. Keep mixing it.
Alright, and then you want to slowly add your water. We recommend 4 to 8 tablespoons of water. Add it in your pie crust, but just add it in a little bit at a time because you don't want to use too much of this. So just a little bit, mix it up a little bit.
Keep mixing.
Add some more water if it's too dry. You want it to just barely stick together. You should be able to form it into a ball once you're done. Alright, we're starting to get there. Still got maybe a little bit more. You might want to get your hands involved a little bit. Just kind of smush it together. Add maybe a little bit more water. You don't want to smush it too much because you'll get rid of that nice flaky, airy crust. Add a little bit more water. So now that we've got it formed in a nice ball, you're going to want to set this in the fridge for about 30 minutes before you start making your pies. You can also leave it in the fridge for a little bit. You want to use it within, 48 hours, and then you can make your pies. Alright, so now that our pie crusts are in the refrigerator, we're going to make our filling. I've got the paddle attachment on, and you're going to want to take 4 eggs and dump that in there. And then mix it on medium-high speed until those get nice and bubbly. Alright, just let the mixer wind down. So now that our eggs are nice and foamy, you want to take a cup of flour, mix that in. On low speed, you're just going to want to knead that in. Your sugar, cup of brown sugar, and then just wait for that to get nice and mixed up. We'll speed it up a little bit. Alright, then you want to take 3 sticks of softened butter. You put each of those in there. Well, don't forget to add your vanilla like I just did. I like to just give it a little bit. And then just put it down and get those nice and incorporated. You might have to grab a spatula So make sure this butter gets mixed in.
Take it out the
You really want to make sure this butter gets mixed in. Otherwise, you'll have a mess in the oven and your oven will catch on fire. I've learned that from experience. You pick it up. You're just going to want to wait. This takes a while to mix in this whole filling for our chocolate chip cookie pie. Okay, that looks about good. Got a nice creamy texture. So then we're going to take a cup of chocolate chips. Pour that in the mix. Also a cup of walnuts. You can leave this out if you want or if you're allergic. And then just slowly mix that in. Alright. And then we're good to fill our pies. Just a quick reminder that this recipe makes about 2 to 3 pies depending on how economic you are with it. Alright, so now we gotta roll out our pie crust. So you're gonna want to flour down your work surface. Get a nice coating of flour on the countertops. Make it loose, you don't want packed like hard chunks of flour there. And then I like to flour down my rolling pin. And then we're gonna take our pie dough and just cut it in half. It's about equal. Put it down on the work surface. Flour down the top. Now we roll it out. You're gonna wanna get this pretty thin so that way it stretches out to the full size of your 9-inch pie tin. You're gonna wanna make it about 1 inch or so wider than your pie tin. Keep stretching it out. Alright, so now that we've got this nice and rolled out, you're gonna wanna fold this. I like to fold it over the rolling pin. And then take my pie dish and just set it in there. Kind of work it in there so that way you get it the proper depth. Alright, and then I like to take and just pinch off the edges real quick. Throw that so we can use it for something else later. Then I like to take your fingers and pinch like that all along the edge. If you get any tears, you can always just take a little bit of extra dough and patch it with some water. Alright, and then we gotta fill it. Alright, so now we gotta fill these pies. So just take a nice scoop and start filling them. Try to even it out best you can. You don't have to be perfect. The better even they are, the easier and more even they'll bake. Try just smoothing it out in there. Alright, so now you're going to want to place these in a 325 oven for about 50 to 55 minutes. You should be able to stick a toothpick in there and they should come out relatively clean. Get a nice crust on there. Alright, and then we'll be back once those are done. Alright, so it's been about 55 minutes-ish and these look about done. Got a nice golden crust on top. Try to get these out of the oven without burning myself. Let those cool off, and once they're done, serve them with a nice scoop of ice cream or some whipped cream. delicious. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember to like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching another episode of Hank Outdoors. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.